Hey, and what was that? And welcome to this video, my love. My name's Nina. I'm back from surgery. Boobs are done. Everything went well. We are flopping right into another build this week, which is an antique type ruined garden, which is right off to the last build that we did, to the left. It's not off, it's off to the left. Yeah, I can still English. Thank you. Welcome. I hope you're well. We're gonna flop right into this. It's gonna have a lot of time jumps because I built this over so many days because I was very unsure of what I wanted to do. It was just one of those builds where you kind of want to keep going and like kind of want to keep building, but you don't really know what you want to do, so you run back and forth for like 3 hours, not doing anything, just running through stuff. So I did that, and then this popped up and I'm very happy with it. But anywho, who are you? How are you? Welcome. I hope you're well. I hope you had a lovely week so far. Friday is here, the weekend is upon us. I hope you have a lovely weekend, something nice planned, maybe something cozy, something relaxing. For us, the weather is very like rainy, which I do love a lot. So it's going to be a very cozy one. I might build a lot more on this island because I feel like this island is like nearly done. It's absolutely not, but if you know how I am. Okay, the second I'm like more than halfway done, I'm like, this is done now, it's gonna be done soon, and it's gonna take me like another month, but I think it's gonna be like another month and then we should be good because we have a video a week, so I think like 4 or 5 more builds, then we should be good, and I'm very happy about that, very happy about that. But yes, we are creating a courtyard. This was inspired again by the same picture that I flopped up last week that inspired that harbour, which doesn't really look at all like the inspo pic, which is good. And it popped up this build as well, which is a bit more similar to the layout, but it's still a very different vibe, you will see. And we're gonna pop that that picture to help me up right now. It's by Barnio on Twitter, same picture that we already saw if you've seen the last video that I uploaded. And yeah, also we have a face cam today because I can't really edit as much because I still get like cramps and pains in my boobs, so I can't really sit here and like flex my muscles to like move my mouths around, which you do. It's very weird to feel certain muscle groups that you just like used on a daily and you didn't really think that would be like such a thing, but like working on your desk is very like it does take a lot of your like I keep doing like this of your chest muscles, so that's very lovely. I'm also blonde now, by the way. My sister did my hair the other day and I'm very happy with it because I was a lot, like my hair was a lot lighter when I was younger, but she recently noticed how dark my hair had gotten and she was like, well, do you want me to cut and color? And I was like, yes, I do, because she is a hairdresser and a very good one, might I add. So very happy with the new hair color. Completely new human being now, completely different. I'm not, but here we are.
Oh, she needs a fucking exorcism.
Anywho, there's gonna be a lot of pathing. I do cut out a lot of it though, so you're only gonna see like bits and bobs here and there because you don't really need to see me do like every single tile, so I have cuts in between. Yeah, I did also want to have like this courtyard type thing, which I think every single build of mine nowadays is a courtyard of sorts, and I just label it as something different each time. But this is very weird again. It kind of goes with the whole you're inspired by something but it turns into something completely different, because I was also inspired by all those like overgrown pool builds that people do, like public pools or like just pools that are overgrown by wheat fields and kind of like filled up with them. And I wanted to do something similar like that in a courtyard kind of thing, and just fill it up with wheat fields and a couple of shrubs and nature bits and here and there. And that's also why I didn't put any in-game pathing underneath like I did with my last few builds, because I want this to transition into a more natural part of the island. And because the next few builds are going to be a lot more, I just paused the recording, are going to be a lot more natural, I think, because as much as I love the theme of like having that, dried up Venice type city, I do want to have a bit more of a like natural part to this island as well. So we're going to have a couple more of those in the future. I already have a few ideas, so stay tuned for that. very, very exciting stuff coming. So yeah, and over to the left, I did that like kind of alleyway type thing, because initially I was going to put like castle walls and then have a castle gate in between to lead you into the next area, but that was that would have been too similar to what we did last week with that Azumia gazebo leading you from the harbor into this area. So I decided against that and did like more of a loose kind of shape for this courtyard with like all those ruined arches that we're going to use. We're going to use so many ruined arches to create like more interesting shapes and make it look like there might have been a building previously, like years and years and years ago, but now it's obviously completely fallen apart and it's more like a garden type build, which I do really like. I think it looks very pretty. Imagine walking through something like this IRL. It would be beautiful. And I'm also going to use a ton of the Zen style stones and a couple of the Western style stones as like gravestones, because I thought that could be quite cute as well. Because maybe like this, when this was still inhabited, but this was already ruined because it looks very, very old, right? People use this as a little bit of a cemetery, which I thought would be quite cute. And I feel like I just love using the cemetery and like gravestone items because, I don't know. I mean, we are currently also doing like a spooky island where we use tons of gravestones as well. So it is kind of a theme at the moment, and I find them weirdly cute, all the gravestone items, which I'm not sure why they are speaking to me as much. I don't think that's a good thing. But we're just gonna roll with it. You know, if it's inspiring you, why should you do something against that, right? Yes. But anywho, we are gonna flop in a ton of foliage, and while I do that, because it's a bit boring to talk about that, because I can't be like, oh no, I'm placing a flower. No idea. I'm gonna give you a quick update on that surgery thing, because I know that I'm gonna get tons of questions, and I got a couple questions before. And you know, it's a grand old time, because I am very happy that I did that. Very, very happy that I decided to do that surgery, because I already feel so much more cheerful and excited about just like life in general, which is a nice feeling, but I didn't have that for a long, long time. And I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. They did take off like 2 kilos. So one, they took out like, I think 1.2 kilograms, and from the other side, they took like 1 point something. So like 1.3, 1.4 type, at 2.3, 2.4 kilos that they removed. And I can already feel that like weight being off my shoulders. So it's quite nice to have like that weight off your shoulders in a physical and mental way. Because I'm also just so excited to be outside again and like meet friends once I am able to, because obviously it is still a painful thing to do, you know, but I'm just over the moon and so excited that I finally was able to do that. And in like, I think a week, they are gonna, I'm gonna go in for another checkup again, and then I think in 3 weeks I'm allowed to work out again, which I'm very excited about as well, because I'm gonna get my yogis on. I'm gonna get my yogis on. I'm gonna go and start doing yoga a bit, because you get such a nice feel from that, and also I just want to feel strong, you know. But yeah, enough of my life. Is that a bit boring? Probably enough of that, because we are now onto like kind of framing this with buildings, both the retro transportation stop and then also a ton of the ruined arches, which I'm trying to use to plop in like multiple ones against each other so that it creates these like shapes, kind of like this flipped T shape that I'm currently laying down. I don't know, I just really like how that frames it in, but it keeps it quite open so that it naturally flows into the next area, which I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do there, because it is a bit of an awkward space. I am contemplating to just implementing the beach as well, which is going to be very challenging for me personally, but we can do it. I believe in us. You know, but if you have any suggestions, by the way, please flop them below, and also flop any like theme suggestions for the next video island below, even though it might still be a month. Also flop them below, because I'd love to hear. I already have an idea of what I would potentially do, but I could also do that on my Switch Lite, so I'm still not, you know, 100% decided. So if you have something that you'd like to see me do, or you'd like to see me try at least, flop it below, because I want to see. We're just going to whiffle in a ton of those wheat fields, and I like how these ruined arches kind of created those frames to certain areas. It looks like there are certain alleyways. Again, it's such a theme on this island where you could kind of like have like a glimpse through and see like a gravestone or some wheat fields, which I thought would be quite cute. So it looks like there might have been like a hallway or something when this was still a proper building, but now you can see through. And I don't know, I just really like how much depth that added naturally, like without me trying to do too much to it, because this is quite open. Like towards the middle I didn't do too much, I just flopped in a couple of flowers and weeds and stuff. And I still like how it looks. It's quite nice to play with, like, the contrast between, like, a very open space in the middle and then this very cluttered, like, dense nature bit around it. I don't know. I really like the juxtaposition between the two. You know, very nice. It's just balancing it out quite nicely. And then a little bit, we're going to get to the part that I did today, where I did a lot of the terraforming that was behind this, because it felt a bit like out of place without any backdrop. So we're also going to have some of that, because I know that some of you are always curious about how to decorate their cliffs, because cliff decoration can be very difficult. And I agree. I definitely agree. I just think that for this build specifically, it didn't really matter what I put on there, but I still wanted to make it look good as if you could access it, because I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to put behind this. Also, quick FYI, if you happen to get a glimpse on any weird cliff shapes behind this build, that is solely for the reason because I tried to flatten the island and then I noticed that I had like all these beautifully overgrown weeds and I didn't want to pluck them because they are quite difficult to get, right? So I just kept them there and just tore the cliff down around them. So I have these like little termite mound type hills all over my island. So that is very beautiful and we love that so much. Love that so much. But yeah, we're just going to flop in a couple more things. And then I think in a second, I'm going to check the view. And then I will actually notice like, oh shit, it kind of looks a bit off right there. Also to the front of this build, I did a little bit off of camera when I was in hospital. So you will see that towards the end of the build at the final tour. But very, very happy. And I got to use another gyroid again because I feel like, especially on like overgrown kind of abandoned islands, the gyroids just add a little element of life to it. And it just looks like, maybe it's like, I don't know, it kind of gives the same vibe as if you were to place like a frog, like a live frog, or like, I don't know, like bugs. I think that's quite cute and it just makes it feel so cute. And now we are finally checking the view and I will notice that there's no cliff or nothing behind there. And yeah, very nice. But we're going to terraform a little bit. Sorry, my mom just peeked in, so I glanced back at her, and that's why I might have weirdly did this. Yeah, cliff decoration. I'm going to do like a very weird cliff around this that's going to wrap around the entirety of this build, and then we're going to connect it to the build that we did like weeks and weeks ago. This like alleyway type thing. Again, alleyway seems to be a theme on this island. Where we had those buildings. So it's going to be a very long cliff and we're going to fill that up with like trees and pine trees, a nice mix of all of them. And also the evergreen ash with that like dark brown kind of planter around it, because I feel like that blends into the native bit quite well, but it adds this very nice like bush texture. I don't know. I don't know. I just really like mixing it up because on this island I'm not using any cedar trees, and I think it would have looked a bit too bland if we only used like hardwood trees. We're mixing it up with some artificial plants. Even though I don't think they are supposed to be artificial, but they just look like it, you know. But you know, it's okay. It's okay. Also, I feel like it's quite nice to have those textures, because now seeing all those people who are able to mod their Switch, which I love, because it does inspire me a lot, even though I don't have access to a modded Switch. It does inspire me a lot to like think of different item combinations when I see an item that I don't have and I think, oh, maybe I could like use, I don't know, an evergreen ash and hide its bottom, because you know how people have these like cute shrub type thingies that like peek out the ground without the pot. I think that originated from something like an evergreen ash. So it's just very nice to still see the community thrive and like inspire each other. At least it's for me. I know that people have different feelings, but I think as long as everyone enjoys the game, it's okay to mod your Switch. Absolutely. I would too if I had the option, but my Switches are too new for that, so that is sadly not possible. But that's okay. You know, you don't have to mod your Switch to have fun with the game, I think. And for anyone asking, I don't think I will mod my Switch because I had people ask me that on stream last night. But yeah, I think I want to keep my videos accessible for people who do not have access to a modded Switch. So do not worry if you don't have a modded Switch, my builds are going to stay mod free. And if they don't, then you will know. But I think if I was to mod a Switch, I'd probably make that a stream island and not a video island. Because I do really like the quality of life stuff that comes with modding, like that you can like flatten your island with a click of a button. You can have multiple islands. You can be your own treasure island in a sense where you can just like mod yourself items into your pockets, which is very nice because I do abuse the order bot on the treasure island that I use a lot. I'm going to link the treasure island down below if you want to join their server. They are by a couple of my wonderful friends who are doing that, and it's very, very nice. It's very, very nice, and I use it a lot and a bit too much, to be fair. Oftentimes it's just me in the order bot, which by the way, that's a booster perk because it's a Discord server, so you will have to pay for the booster for the order bot where you can just like order certain items and just grab them, but you will get access to like at least treasure island a day, which is very nice. Very, very nice of them. But we are onto the cliff now. I didn't even talk about the build, I'm sorry. But we're just gonna flop in a couple of the ruined arches because again, I think just like bringing items over that you used in the main design and bring that up onto a cliff, it just helps to tie everything together and also just break up the textures a bit, because even if you use pine trees and evergreen ashes, it will feel a bit repetitive with all the greens and browns and, you know, after a while. So I highly recommend to flop in like ruined items if you do like more natural builds or like anything really. That just has a more neutral palette, but it can be flopped in there. Mush items are also very nice. Log items are quite nice. So I like to play with those a lot. Even though I don't have any log items on this island, I don't think I ever use any log items, which is a shame. I need to start doing that maybe. I also wanted to fill a lot up with the hedges, and I also flopped that Torii in. Because if you look from like the bottom of the main build, like in that courtyard, it's right behind the gate that we blocked up with like simple panels and that fence item, and the Torii is like right behind that, so it adds like a roof type texture, which I really, really like. But we are already approaching the end of this build, my lovely, so I'm just gonna fill in this last little bits and bobs. And I just did a cliff tree. There are tons of tutorials on how to do a cliff tree for anyone who doesn't know, but it basically allows you to have a tree on like the edge of a cliff, so I could flop that evergreen ash at the bottom level. But that's about it. I'm gonna leave you now. I'm gonna leave you now with a montage of this finished build. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I will see you for the next one next Friday. And if you'd like to check me out on Twitch, I'm live there Monday to Thursday and every single Saturday at 5 PM CST. So yeah, I'd love to see you there. And if not, I will see you when I see you. Take care of yourself, my lovely. Bye.